Hello, hello. Welcome to night 6 of our Hike Livestream. It is so good to see everyone. Last night, I didn't do a full live stream because we had a show in Iowa, so I shared a virtual concert for you all, so I hope you guys liked that. It was a good way to kind of break up our live streams, and I hope you heard some of the songs that we've been talking about and some of the songs that are coming up as well. Hi, Craig. It's great to see you. Hi, Shay. I missed you guys yesterday. It's good to see you tonight. I hope you had a wonderful Saturday/Sunday. I know we're kind of on different time schedules, but I hope you guys have an awesome day yesterday. Hi, Ann. It's good to see you. It's so good to see everyone. I am back in St. Louis. We played a show last night in Des Moines, Iowa. Now I'm headed back, and then tomorrow I will be in Nashville again. It's the traveling hike, really. Hi, Roland. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I love it. I cannot believe we are on day 6 of our hike. This has been just flying by. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead, if it's cool, since everyone's here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of walk through our map and talk through the different stops. So I'm going to share my screen. Wait, before Craig says, can I shout out to his, is it your niece? Hold on, I want to go back and see. Your niece, Malia, did I say that right? Hello, it's so good. I'm so glad that she's joining us. All right, I've got our map pulled up. Now, here's the fun part, is we've made it all the way through stops 1 through 5, right? So to get to the second half of our hike, I try to make it really clear. There's a button over here you got to press. It's kind of dark, so it's kind of hard to tell. But this is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So last night's stop was stop 6, and then, oh my gosh, today is actually night 7. Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. But yesterday's stop was a song that I said I think this song changed my life, and this is completely true. And this song is Marilyn. And this is a song about body image and things like that. And we're going to talk about that more in just a second. And then the song for today, which is actually The Peak, is the title track, Lost. And I love the map because you can actually, like, when you click on it, all these cool videos came up. I wanted to give this song a little bit of extra weight to it and kind of share as much as I could about this one since it's the title track. And it's a really, really special song. So you can kind of explore that. We'll go through a little bit more of the map probably later. But I want to get to the part that's really fun because I have a special guest here. Hi, Brenda. That's my mom. Good, Craig. I'm glad I said her name right. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that she's joining us. How old is Malia? Shay says, I love Lost. It's my favorite. I'm so glad. That's because Lost is really about being on a mountain, which is where the idea for the hike really came from. And so I feel like since Shay's from Colorado, that has to be a favorite, right? All right. Well, I said we're going to start off by talking about Marilyn because I didn't get to break that song down yesterday. And to talk about that song, I have a really special friend and a special guest here with me. Oh, hi, guys. Hi, Selah. Hi, Akissa. Did I say all that right? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people, Marilyn is the first. Alyssa, okay. A lot of people, I would say Marilyn is the first song that they've ever heard. Anyway, this is my friend Corey. Corey, say hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. I have been waiting for tonight. I'm like, Corey's coming. This is going to be awesome. So for those of you who don't know the amazing Corey Rott. She not only wrote Marilyn with me, but she wrote 4 out of like the 9 tracks that are on this record. She literally wrote half the record with me. And I'm very, very excited to chat through it. So she wrote Marilyn, Time to Say Goodbye, and then 2 songs that we haven't talked about yet, which is Fragile and Olives, which are coming later in our hike. So I'm very excited that you're here. I said we would kind of break down Marilyn a little bit. So I feel like I shared kind of my whole story behind Marilyn, but I would love to hear like your perspective of what Marilyn is about to you and about kind of walking in and writing it with me, because I know what I think. I've never heard what you think. I tell everyone all the time from stage, and I'm like, I've never actually asked Corey.
My favorite thing about Marilyn is that when I came into that write, I mean, we were in a pretty happy mood. Like, I didn't know any of the stuff about you talking to your friend beforehand. We just came in and we were like, hey, we're writing today. How are you? Catching up on things. And you had pitched the idea, and it was supposed to be a happy song, which I always think is so funny because it was supposed to be like,
I forgot that.
I'm not Marilyn, you're not James Dean, but like we're perfect together. And that was like, we started writing this and it was just not happening. We were like, this is not the song. And somewhere along the line of us trying to write this happy song, we started talking about all of the things that Marilyn is about. And, you know, like we said in the chorus, the TV screens, the grocery store magazines, all of those things that we're seeing every day. And, you know, Marilyn probably felt these things that we're feeling as well. And I just remember us laughing about once the song we were supposed to write that day actually started coming out. We were like, okay, this actually is correct now.
This is the right thing.
This is the right thing, which is funny because sometimes you go into a write and you don't realize that's the song you need that day, but that's the song you get.
Oh, I'm so glad I forgot about that. I completely forgot that we had like started to write like a whole like verse chorus of another version of a song called Marilyn. It's like wiped from my memory.
That didn't actually happen. I don't think it was very good. So we just
no, like as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, and it was horrible. It was a horrible song. But you know, I had Jessica on earlier, which you know Jessica.
Yes.
And we talked about like when you are trying to force an idea or trying to force a song, it never is very good. And like that was kind of, if I remember right, that was what was happening. Is I was like, oh, I have this like, because I had the title Marilyn in my phone already, and I don't know why, I've always loved that name, and I loved like the idea of writing something kind of with Marilyn Monroe as a focus. But yeah, it was not in the context of that. And I think it's because like even though I think we were both in a happy place, as I've talked about earlier in that day, a friend of mine did call me and we really did talk about her having an eating disorder and some image things. And I think like that's the thing, is like whatever you come to a write with, you're always showing up with like what happened to you that day. Yeah. And so trying to not write about something kind of, it was in the back of my mind. It was just not gonna, it wasn't gonna work. That was just, you kind of got to air that stuff out in a write. It just is kind of like what happens.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know why.
And it's always funny too. I feel like from a writing perspective, it's almost, obviously if you're in the moment and there's emotions there, you can write a song from that for sure. But when you're able to like be in a different headspace and reflect on those things, I think really good songs come from that as well, because you can look at the whole story almost.
Yeah.
Because even in the song, as it goes on at the end, you get to, I choose to believe. As opposed to, I want to believe. It's truly the whole, like, you're walking through the whole story, essentially.
Yeah. And I don't even know, like, I don't even know how many people catch that. I think about that almost every time I sing it. Is that the final chorus we purposefully changed the words, like I choose to believe that I'm beautiful too, because I feel like that's the thing that I want people to take away. Is there's something like so lonely about looking in the mirror and thinking all those like negative thoughts about the way you look, and thinking I must be the and you're so it's such a lonely feeling. You think you're the only person that's ever had those thoughts. And I feel like there's a lot of songs out there that are like, hey, you're beautiful. Like, there's a lot of songs like that. But there was something different to me and something special to me about telling someone, like, hey, we have all felt that way. Everybody has had days like that. And you have to choose to wake up and remember that you're beautiful. And, like, that has to be something that you internally say. Like, there was a very conscious choice to, like, change that one word. Like, it's literally one word, and I really don't know if a lot of people pick up on it. But it's an important
it's an important one word.
It really is. Yeah, and this song, like, I mean, we wrote, it was a heavy song. And I was glad that it wasn't the first song we tried to write together. I don't think I could have written it with another person, because you got to trust someone to be able to write that kind of song.
For sure. I think it was, we had written a good bit together at that point. Yeah. I believe. Yeah.
For sure. But
no, I don't know that if that would have been the first song we ever wrote together, one, I don't know that it would have been as good as it was.
Yeah.
And two, that would have been a heavy start.
A very heavy start.
I'm trying to remember sidebar. I'm trying to remember what the first song we wrote together was. I don't even know that I know it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've written quite a few.
We have written a lot.
We've written a lot over the years. Yeah, and I don't know, so the way Marilyn is structured too, like the first verse is about Marilyn Monroe, the second verse is Audrey Hepburn, and the third verse is Judy Garland. And if you don't know who that is, like, Corey, can you just explain who each of those people, like, why we chose those people? Because I don't, like, not everybody knows who those people are.
Yeah. So Marilyn was obviously the beginning. We started thinking, and then we were thinking about other, like, these, like, picture perfect, I guess, women, and Audrey Hepburn was one that we had thought of. Personally, my favorite is that verse 3, where we bring in Judy Garland, because I grew up just obsessed with The Wizard of Oz, and I thought Judy Garland was, like, the perfect, like, movie. And then obviously I got older and learned about her life, and there were so many things that she struggled with. But as a kid, I was like, she's perfect. I want to be Dorothy when I grow up. Like, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That's my favorite verse, because I'm like, that was me as a kid. I was like, yeah, she's perfect. But you grow up and you realize all of these other things are happening, and it's like, oh, these people that we thought, and then we think are perfect and look perfect on the screen, or still have their own struggles as well.
I think my favorite line is probably in verse 3 about Judy Garland, the line about but we're both friends with the same demons. I love that line. One of the producers wanted me to change that line because I wasn't pronouncing it very well when I was singing it. I was like, no. I'll figure out how to sing it, but we're keeping the line. Because I really loved that line. And you told me once that your favorite line was "Perfect ain't real, pretty will fade." Is that still true?
I do love that line. Yeah, I think that was all you. I think you brought that line in.
My dad has always said, like, perfect's not real, or like, you know, because I kind of have high standards once in a while, and I am a bit of a perfectionist once in a while, and he likes to remind me that, you know, sometimes you're striving for something that isn't real. But
I do love that line. Yeah.
We so at the show last night in Iowa, you know, I put those two lines on a journal, like, on my merch table.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because when I was a young girl, I used to journal, and I was reading through my first journal, my first diary as a kid. And in that diary, I mean, I was probably like, whenever you start writing, like at whatever age that is, I guess 7 maybe.
Yeah.
And I had an entry about, am I fat? Like in that, like as a kid, like in this diary
Yeah.
entry. And it broke my heart. I'm like reading back, and so I created these journals that have those lyrics on the front, thinking like, oh, if a little girl comes to my show and like she needs a first diary, like, and she writes an entry like that, like I want her to flip to the first page. And
Yeah.
last night
I
at the
love that.
show, 2 little girls bought the 2 journals that I
Oh,
bought, and they
I
were,
love that.
one of them was like 6 and one of them was 8. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. It like it was so cool. I was like, you don't really, I know that like this is just a journal to you, but like this is what I had in mind like when I made this, and it was just like really cool, you know.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, this song is funny because I got to play the listening room like literally a week after we wrote it.
Yeah.
And I
cried.
A lot of people cried.
I'm sorry, you can tell your story and then I will tell my
song. Yeah. And that's why I say this song changed my life, because there was a woman after I sang that song for the first time, because it was fresh. It was like fresh off the presses, and there was something really magical when you sing a song that new for people.
Yeah.
And this woman came up to me. She had to be like in her 60s, and she couldn't even speak to me. She just grabbed my hand and she was just in tears. And I just held her hand and she looked at me and she said, "Thank you for Marilyn." And then like she couldn't say anything else. And I just gave her a hug and I was like, absolutely. You know, because you just never know. I think that's what I love about this song, is it's such a universal thing that like so many people have been through. And it's one of those songs like you just sing and then people just share their story, and that's what's so beautiful about it, is it just opens up that, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I remember, because there are a few, it doesn't happen a lot. That was one that when we wrote it, we were like, this is a listening room song. Like this is when this gets to be played in the listening room, like that's it.
And it
was. And then that day you were playing and I was trying to get there in time, but I was like stuck there was like a wreck on the interstate. And I'm like, I have to get there. I'm like driving up there, and I walked in like as you were starting to play it.
And you had perfect timing. It was literally like as the intro played.
Yeah, I was literally just like in tears. I went to the bartender and I was like, song, and she was like, okay. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. We talked about the song being played here, and I finally made it. It was such a good moment, and
that's cool.
That's one of my favorite moments,
like ever.
That was an ideal Nashville moment right there.
Yeah, for anyone listening who doesn't know what the listening room is, it's like a very iconic songwriter venue in Nashville. It's kind of it's a very prestigious place to play. And so it was really special to play that one there. And what was funny too about playing that song there, because it was so new, is I wasn't sure it was done. And I had someone come up to me afterwards and he said, "I love that song." He said, "I don't think it's done." And I think I told you that. And I went home and I noodled on it on like my drive home. And the final verse that's in there, that's like about, you know, yourself, that was what was not in there when I played it at the listening room. It was only about the 3 women. And that was the thing. It was like, well, there's no like, you don't ever hear the singer's point of view at all.
Yeah.
And so that verse was added later, and it felt finished. Yeah.
That was when I think the change in that last chorus was made too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the change.
I think that was later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's what I love, is like it's really about 4 women. You know? It's really about the beauty icons, and then it's finally about
and then the singer.
You.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful. Anyway. Yeah. That's Marilyn. I'm honored you wrote it with me. It's
Thank you for trusting me with the idea. I mean, that's always a great thing as a writer, when an artist brings in an idea like that and you're like, oh yeah, let's write this.
Let's do it. And then it turns out well.
And then it's good.
That's always the thing. It's like when you have a good idea and it doesn't quite get there, it's like, oh man, we got to try that again. Like, oh my gosh. I see a lot of friends coming in. Hi, Holden. Hi, Kristen. And I saw hi, Dio. Hi, Dia. Am I saying that right? From Canada? It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for hopping on. This is so fun. Well, Corey, do you have any final thoughts about Marilyn? Because I do want to talk about the other songs that you wrote as
yes.
well.
We can move on to the others if we want. I know we probably have limited time.
Yeah.
Because we also got to talk about today's adventure as well.
I know.
Stop.
I was like, man, this kind of like these are some heavy hitters today. But yeah, like I said, Corey literally wrote half the album, more than any other person on the record.
Except for you.
Well, yeah. That's true. I am the number one writer.
You are the main writer.
I wrote the most. Mom said, am I going to play Marilyn? Do you want to hear it? We can play a little bit of it. I was not going to play it I was not going to play it live. Holden, we are doing good. Thank you for saying that. I will. I'll go ahead and play a little bit of Marilyn in case anyone hasn't heard it. This is a new visualizer. We came up with it. I like that line too.
Yeah.
And that one. I really shouldn't pick a favorite line.
I think the chat is saying it needs to be turned up.
But perfect ain't real, pretty will fade. And Marilyn probably felt the same way that I do. Might not be as elegant as Judy. My youth's already gone to waste. We're both friends with the same demons, chasing rainbows for better days. If I'm telling the truth, I wanna believe that I'm beautiful too. When TV screens, grocery store magazines, they all can make it so hard to achieve. But perfect ain't real, pretty will fade. And Marilyn probably felt the same way that I do. Do you?
And then the fiddle part from Matt, who actually plays at the Opry.
Ooh.
I know. So Marilyn is the only other song on the entire record that was re-recorded. It was actually recorded twice. And I did not like the first version.
I don't think I knew that.
I maybe didn't tell you because I
think I've only heard the one that's out.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where the other version is, if I'm honest.
I might could scroll back in our texts and find it.
I'm
if
sure
you did
I have
send
it,
to me.
but yeah, the original version was too pretty. That was why I didn't like it. It was too pretty, and I came home and it was the song that I kept complaining to my husband about. And I was like, we're just not getting it. Like it's too polished, and he heard me complain about it enough that he's like, you need to have me do it and have Brett do it because I think I know what you're going for. And that song was really the reason why, because I wanted to get that one right so much. And And so, yeah, but it was originally recorded differently, and the only thing we kept from the first recording was the fiddle part, because I loved the fiddle part that Matt did. And he also is the same guy who played on Ain't Gonna Be Mine, which is off my first EP.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, but that's the only thing that remained from the beginning. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Or at least I had forgotten if I didn't know it.
Well, you reminded me some things too that I had forgotten. Were you guys able to hear that? I'm sorry, I forgot to put the mic up to the speaker, so that's why the audio was strange. So, were they able to hear it eventually?
But if you couldn't, you can go stream it.
That's true.
Go stream it now.
By the end of this, I'm gonna get the audio like perfected, and then. Anyway, let's talk about some of the other songs that you did. So we've got Time to Say Goodbye, Fragile, which no one has ever heard. This will be the first time anyone hears it.
I'm excited for people to hear that one.
Shay says I'm a little quiet now. I turned it down too much. Shay, is that better?
We want to here, I'll have my show and tell now.
Oh.
I have the official copy here.
I love that you just have it right there. That's
the whole,
that's the whole CD.
Yeah.
That's the album.
And here's, if we can show the track list. In the back.
There are no secrets here. Literally,
I'm
telling them all my secrets.
Look at that.
I know. It's signed for you.
Come do a show and you can get your own signed copy. And there's like a poem in the inside.
Inscription.
Yeah.
I wrote about feeling lost.
It's very cool. It's very nicely put together.
Thank you.
But yeah, we wrote Olives, Marilyn, Fragile, and Time to Say Goodbye. Right?
Yeah.
Those 4.
I'm curious, like out of those 4, I love them all. I'm not saying that any of them are bad. I just would love to know like what were your 1 through 4 favorite?
That's hard.
It's like asking to pick your favorite children.
Yeah.
That's probably
there are different things I love about all of them. Okay, so Olives I love playing out. It's just so much fun, and people love it. So I do love playing that at like writers' rounds and stuff. I love what Marilyn has done since writing it. I mean, it was very fun to write it, but I do love what it has done since writing it and hearing the stories from that. And then the other 2, I feel like were really deep. Even though Time to Say Goodbye is like a little more upbeat, like mid-tempo fun, writing those, we had some really cool conversations. And I just, from those 2, remember writing those very vividly. Yeah. And that's why I love those, because that's what I'm here to do, is write songs. That's like my passion.
Yeah.
So the fact that those are very like, even though we wrote them years ago, it feels like we just wrote them yesterday and I remember writing those. Yeah. So that's why I love those 2. So I love them all for different reasons.
That was a good This is a very diplomatic answer. I like it. I agree with that. For people who don't know, Corey is a songwriter, like through and through. Like she's not an artist, she's not a sideman. Like she moved to town to write songs. So when like she says like this is literally what I like wanted to do with an artist, like that's what that means. And if like it is a really, really cool thing to like, you know, dedicate your life to helping people tell their story. It's a really beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's my favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing.
And we had some pretty big live chats in writing those songs. Like,
for sure.
I have a problem not going deep in my songs. It's a sickness, if you will. And it's great to have someone go there with you, for sure. For sure. We talked about Time to Say Goodbye a few days ago, And I was kind of telling you before we got on the call, I was like, that was actually maybe one of my favorite lives because we watched that one change so much from the day we wrote it to what ended up in the studio. Like it changed a lot. Like it was almost like a ballad in that first work tape.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's not a ballad. I just can't play the guitar part that's in my head.
No, I was laughing because I hadn't heard the work tape in years. So when we got the email, I was like, I'm gonna go listen to this. It's literally in my phone, but I'm gonna go listen to this.
Yeah, I think I got it from probably our text thread. I was like, oh yeah, there that's where that's
Scroll
where
back far enough, you find it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Yeah. And then Fragile, which is coming up, we haven't talked about that one. Literally no one has heard that whole song except for you and me and the producers. That's really it.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the comments.
I know. I was trying to catch up on the chat.
I know. My mom, Holden says my mom doesn't have a favorite child. It's all her grandchildren. My grandma can relate to that. I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah, Fragile is a song that we wrote together that no one has heard yet, but I think that's like the dark horse of the record. That's the song that is like a secret favorite of mine.
If I remember correctly, I could be lying, so this could be a fake story that I'm just making up. But if I remember correctly,
if you're lying.
If I remember correctly, I think you pitched that idea a couple times, like at least twice. Yeah,
probably.
And I was like we had talked about it. We were like, that might be too heavy, and then we wrote something else, and then we like talked about it again, and then like, because I remember it coming up like a few different times until before we
determined to write it.
Before we finally wrote it. So I again could be making that up, but if I remember correctly, that one took some time too because it was like not the right day yet, and then eventually it was.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of stories of like, again, when you try to write something heavy and you're not in a heavy place, like it doesn't work. If you're in like, if you're trying to write something kind of funny or something light and you're not in that place, like it also doesn't work. Like, and I think Fragile is the heaviest song on the record. Probably.
For sure. I think I agree. I mean, Maryland's heavy in its own ways, but Fragile is really this like internal battle almost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away. I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about.
I think it's good. I think
people haven't heard it yet, so
I know. We'll talk about it more in the next few days. But yeah, I love that one. And then Olives is just fun. I think the majority of people who find my music either find Olives or Maryland first, which is also very cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
That's cool. I do love Olives. Olives is so like people hear the title and they're like, "What the heck is this song supposed to be about?"
And then they get to the end and they're like, "What is that?" No, I'm kidding. I think we get there pretty well. Olives is our ode to a dirty martini.
Yes. Skip the branch past the olives. I was obsessed with that line. When you brought in that line, I was like, we're writing this today.
Yeah, that was the last song that we wrote for the record. We wrote that song like almost it was less than 3 weeks before I went into the studio.
Yeah, it was a late one.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it went from being the last thing that we wrote that ended up on the record to like the first single out of the gate that we shared from the record, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it's just a vibe, and it makes me laugh at the end of the day. It's just like a funny line, like skip the branch past the olives. And I had never seen an olive tree before. But like, like that idea of like, I grew up in church, and like, one of the things that you always talk about is, forgiveness and turning the other cheek and handing out an olive branch. And, I believe all those things. It was just very, very funny to say, well, forget about the branch, forget your apology. Like, I got to stand up for myself. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's like the message of Olives. Like, it's a very fun song and it's very funny, but I also love that it's like actually like there is a line, and it's not that I, don't forgive you.
Yeah,
It's just like I gotta stand up for myself and I gotta walk away.
absolutely.
And then it's just a joke. Like, I'd rather like do anything else, including drink a dirty martini, and and that's literally what the song is, and it just makes me giggle. That's what it is. It's a very clever play on words, which as songwriters is our favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah, that is the goal. If we can get a good play on words,
Yeah,
we've made it.
we've done it. Hi, Juanita. It's good to see you. I'm glad you guys are loving these songs. This is like a 4-in-1 conversation. I knew when Corey was coming on, I was like, we have to talk about all of them a little bit. The other thing that's funny, too, that people don't realize is, like, we didn't sit down and we're like, oh, we're going to write a record.
Mm-hmm.
And we were writing these songs for a record. Can you describe, like, from your perspective of, like, finding out, like, that these songs are getting cut and that they were going to be on a full project? And, like, can you kind of explain your point of view of that?
Yeah. I do think it's almost like looking back at, so we met pretty early when you got to town, I feel like within the first 6 months, probably.
Yeah.
And we were writing these songs between, like, obviously you had just moved to town. Jake and I were still, my husband, we were still dating. Like, I was living alone. Roommates changed and houses changed. We wrote these songs in like 4 different apartments between both of us. 4 different.
That's true. We were
places.
moving. Yeah.
So it was I had just finished school. So, like, it's almost like, for me at least, that those 4 songs, it's like a little time capsule from, like, here throwing you out into the adult world, and these are the things you're going through. So it was really just living life almost. And then when you said you were putting together an album and that some of these songs are going to be on there, I mean, I was ecstatic. I'm always excited to see how it goes from the writer room to out in the world and seeing that process. So yeah, that was, from my point of view, it was almost like I look back at those and it's funny to see where we were when we were writing them and where we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of like, it is a time capsule. Any album you write is like, that is a snapshot of your life right then.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like really significant things, a lot of significant transitions in my life at that time, relationship wise and moving and starting this career and some big questions. And I love that, like, I mean, really, like, we wrote all through that, all through it. Yeah. I love it. Does anyone have any questions for Corey before she heads out? I'll ask you one more, and then I have to think of a really good one, or if someone could put it in the chat too. Let's see. Or is there anything that you have that I haven't covered?
I don't know. I got to do the unboxing of the album, which is what I was very excited about doing.
I was excited too. I hadn't even know you were going to do that. Okay, let me think. Well, I have one question, unless anyone else. Oh, what's the pieces behind her? People want to know about your records on your wall.
Can you see them? I think they're blurry.
They're blurry, yeah.
I have back here Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Green Day, all of my inspirations on the wall behind me. And then my guitars.
And then your guitars.
All of the music
it's
things.
Your writing room.
Yep.
Written a lot of songs
there. You're in the writer's room.
I would say, okay, last question for you before you head off and enjoy your evening. Is there any song that surprised you with the way it turned out of the ones that you wrote? Like when you heard the final thing?
Oh. I do love Olives. Like I knew it was going to slap from how we had written it.
Yeah.
But like hearing the final production, I was like, yes, that's exactly what it was supposed to sound like. I think if I remember correctly, we were struggling because we were playing it, I think, just like G and C probably because
Yeah. Again, not as good a guitarist as that
we
song
were
needed.
like, I don't think that's right. And I remember you called Luis in and was like, what are we supposed to be doing here? And he helped us
Yeah.
like figure out the chords, and we were like, that's the vibe. That's what it's
That's
supposed
it.
to sound like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that one's fun. Every time it comes on, like even on shuffle in the car, I'm like, heck yeah, let's jam real quick.
With that song, the production of that song is what makes that song. I mean, it's a cool song the way we wrote it, just stripped down, but it there's a track on that song, like underneath the live instruments,
Yeah.
that it's just cool. Like there's just no way around it. Like it's just really cool. And then I had when we were writing it, I was like, it has to have some like kind of throwback talk box kind of effect on it, and like that was really fun to kind of experiment on that song.
I think the chat is planning us a podcast. I think that's what's happening.
I hear that. I told them last week I've been secretly recording a podcast with Luis with Slice. So like it's so funny. They were like, "You need to start a podcast." I'm like, "Well, I'm glad that you're thinking that, because I've been thinking that."
I love that.
All the things are happening. Oh my gosh.
It was nice to meet y'all too. I appreciate y'all.
So much fun
hanging out.
Thanks for coming on the hike with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I love this, and I love you, and thank you for sharing kind of your perspectives on these songs. I just really appreciate you, and I've loved writing them with you. I just love you a lot.
And we've got more. We've got more songs to write.
More coming, yeah.
There's more songs to be written.
We're always writing the next thing as we're releasing the current thing.
Always.
All right, my friend. Well, I'm going to let you have the rest of your night, but thank you so much. I love you.
Thank
and
you.
I'll see you soon.
Love you. Yes, I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed meeting Corey. She's a really good friend and a wonderful writer, and I think it's really cool to show people kind of how songs get written and the people behind them, because there's a lot that goes into it, for sure. So the other song for today is Lost, and this is a huge song. This is obviously the title track of the record. This is what inspired the hike and this entire journey. So I see in the comments you guys would like to play another song. So I am going to, let's see, let me share the map. You got it, Shay. That's what we're going to try. I think we're going to try and see what you guys think. I think it would be really fun. All right, so we kind of talked through Marilyn and threw in some other songs since we had Corey on here. I'm going to just show you Lost again. So this is the title track, so I wanted to include a bunch of things on here. And I'm thinking I'll show you guys the official music video for this, because I haven't released it. Like, I really wanted you guys to get this first. And then, too, I recorded an acoustic video of this song for you guys, too. But I'm going to show you guys the music video because it's really cool. Because I would love to know what you guys think.
I swear this mountain air can almost get me high. Whispers of wildflower fields, sharp scent
I turned it up. Is that better?
The reasons you left me are always the same. Leave me here with your voice in my head. Dreams in the dresser, hopes under the bed. On the side of this mountain, hang far away. Scatter our ashes, throw the rings in the lake. We reach the peak, try to turn around, but we got lost on the way down. Leave me here with your voice in my head. Dreams in dresser, hopes under the bed. On the side of this mountain, hang far away. Scatter our ashes, throw the rings in the lake. We reach the peak, try to turn around, but we got lost. Oh, we got lost on the way.
And that is the music video. I have never really recorded one of those, so I hope you guys like it. Shay, I love how much you love this song. I love this song too. Oh, Craig, that's a great idea. I've been actually like working on trying to figure out what the deluxe edition should be. I'm totally gonna nibble on that. I think that's a great idea. I love that. Yeah, it's been really fun. Like I recorded a lot of these videos just specifically for this. And they may or may not see the light of day. But I wanted to kind of hear what you guys thought of that one. That one was really fun to shoot because the guy who I work with who does all my videos, he does a lot of drone work. And I was like, this song is literally on the side of a mountain. Like, we have to get out your drone. And I had never worked with a drone before. And so seeing, like, we literally hiked for that shot. Like, I think I said in an earlier video, we went to the Harpeth River, which is just, it's about 45 minutes south of Nashville. And it's an area, it's a trail that's called Lover's Ridge. And so we hiked all the way to the top. And it's pretty steep. Like, it's only like a 20-minute hike, but it's a very steep hike. And you oversee the entire river from there. And it was really, really cool. And then he took his drone out kind of at golden hour. And I'd never seen that. And the drone like went all the way around the river and around the cliff. And it was really, really a cool experience. And it's a really popular hiking trail. And like I said, it's called Lover's Ridge. So it was really fun. We met like 3 young couples who were like on a date doing the hike and got to share the music with them. And it was a really fun experience to do that, to meet people kind of in real time doing the hike as we were singing that song. It was very cool. Craig says, for us diehard geeky music fans, hey, me too. I'm like, this sounds so fun. We just get to talk through all this. So I'm glad it's really cool to meet people who've enjoyed doing this too, because it makes my heart so happy to talk through all these things. But as you can hear, like, this song is a really it's a really special song. But what I love is the song. To me, the song's meaning when you call the song Lost is different than calling the whole album Lost. So like within the nature of the song, this song is a story at the end of the day. Like this is probably the biggest storytelling song of the whole record. And it really zooms in on a woman who is going through a tough moment in her relationship. I've always thought that she's going through a divorce, but interpret it as you guys want to. But that's just how I've always interpreted it. That she's going through a major change in her relationship, and she hikes to the top of this mountain, and she's just looking out among everything, and she knows that as soon as she goes back down off this hike, her world is going to change. And when I was in high school, I went on a life-changing hike, literally. My church, they took all their freshman youth on a hike through Colorado for like a week. And a couple days before, my best friend's mom had just been diagnosed with cancer. And, it was the first time in my life, I'm like 16, 17 years old, and I'm going on this hike. And there was something about this tragedy happening in my personal life, and then having a week in the mountains among some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life, to be able to digest that and think about it and kind of escape from what was happening at the same time. And I remember getting to the top of the mountain on that particular hike, and our guide, who was our youth leader at the time, he said, look out at this amazing view, not that different than the one that's behind me right now. And he said, I want you to look out at this amazing view, and if you have anything in your life that ever makes you feel uncertain or lost or scared, I want you to remember that there is something this beautiful out there in the world. And so when like that opening line, I swear this mountain air can almost get me high, it took me back to that literal mountaintop when I was 16, 17. And that feeling of no matter what you're going through in life, remembering there's something beautiful out there. And I've always been someone who's been very inspired by nature, and I always feel like my head is clearer. And so the story of this woman that we wrote, the details aren't necessarily my story, but that feeling of I'm going to escape, and I'm going to, go out on a hike, and I'm going to kind of think through what's going on in my life and the way it's changing, and I'm not sure what it's going to be when I get back. That I understood. And that was a feeling I think a lot of people understand. So yeah, that is a big way of explaining kind of this whole concept and this whole record and where this song comes from. And then as soon as we wrote this record, and you never know what the title of the record is going to be before you write the record. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but that's just not the way I've done it. And so when I was like, what am I going to call it? And I looked at all the songs, and I realized like each one of these songs is a transition. Each one of these songs is it was a big question mark. I didn't know what was coming next, and I was writing my way through it. That was my way of processing and my way of figuring it out. And to me, the word lost summed that up. And I loved the idea of taking the word lost, because to me it has a negative connotation, right? Like nobody ever wants to admit that they're lost. No one ever wants to admit that they're unsure or they don't know what their next step is going to be. Everyone wants to be like winning at life. And those moments where you feel lost and you feel unsure, you definitely do not feel like you're winning at life. And I loved taking that word and turning it on its head and saying, what if those moments where you're lost are actually the moments when you're just figuring out who you really are? And so as soon as I figured that out, and as soon as I started calling the record Lost, and choosing this to be kind of the title track, it was like everything fell into place. And I love that the story of the song is kind of like zooming in on that feeling. It's like I feel like you can really like feel the woman's emotions in that song, and it's exactly how I felt in every transition moment of my life. And yeah, so that's why I love it. That was very long-winded. I'm so sorry. I feel like I was just preaching. I don't mean to. It's just I feel very passionate about that story, and obviously it's the title track, so there's a lot to unpack there. But I hope that felt you guys were able to get something out of that. Shay, that's so sweet. Craig, I hate that. He says, as a kid, I used to get beat up for having long hair and being into metal. I hate that. But I agree, like, the story tracks are what make country so special. And that's kind of why I've always loved country, and I've always loved just this genre. I've always said, like, I'm a singer, but I'm also a storyteller. I think that's just really true, and I love it when artists get to do that. And so it's been really lovely to have people who want to hear those stories. So thank you guys. Well, guys, I'm going to let you ask do you have any questions in the comments? We've covered a lot of ground tonight. We've talked about Lost. We went back and talked a little bit about Marilyn, which was the song from yesterday. And then luckily, since Corey wrote on a lot of the record, I had her kind of talk through some songs that we've already went over from her perspective, and also some songs that are coming up. So I hope it is kind of a cool look at the upcoming songs. And just before we head out, I like to always end with our journal prompt. Holden had a question. He said, do you have any artists that you would like to work with? I mean, there are many artists I would love to work with and collab with. We've talked about Alexandra Kay a lot here. I think what she does is so cool. I would love to do a collab with her. I also really love like Brandi Carlile. Everything that she does and just the way that she treats her collaborators is so special. I would love to do that. But there's so many people. There's obviously, Martina McBride would be a really special one to me since I grew up on her music. Or Adele, she's a hero of mine. There are a lot of heroes. But that's a few. That's a few that come to mind. Craig, I hate that. Thank you for sharing that. That's horrible. People are the worst sometimes. The journal prompt for today is describe a moment where you realized you were at a crossroads. How did it feel? Because that's really what this record is, and that's really what this song is. So I hope that you take a minute and you think about that tonight as you end your evening. You and Adele. I can see it. I know. Someone's got to tell her. I think Adele and I could kill a collab. But I hope you take a minute. You think about a crossroad that you're experiencing maybe now or that you have experienced, and how you get through it. Because that's really the message of the song. Oh, I love that, Holden. I love it. Carrie Underwood, Priscilla Block. I mean, I grew up with Carrie Underwood. I think you can hear a lot of what she does in what I do. And Priscilla Block is great. I love what she does. You guys are awesome. I love you so much. Thank you for sticking out with me. This was kind of a long one, but we had a lot to unpack and a lot to cover. Tomorrow is mile mark 8, and it's the campfire. So the way you can think on our hike is we've gone all the way up the mountain. We reached the peak, which was today, which was our title track, Lost, and now we're working our way back down. So tomorrow is day 8, and I will see you guys then. All right, love you guys. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Bye.